Welcome back, YouTube. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at here at the charts and see how September is progressing. And I'm going to give you some price points that I would actually like to see these coins go to, that I believe that there will be some great entries for overall where we're going in this cycle. I'm going to start here with Bitcoin, because as you know, over the last few days, we've been seeing some red here, and we've actually had some closing here within this this lower level here, below the 54,923 mark, which is pretty much this is, I want to say it's the lowest we've closed, but it's looking like it may be the lowest we've closed since mid-February, March. And this is kind of like we talked about in the last video. I made some points here about some great positions that we can get in September. So, and typically this is going to be a red month. We're going to have some sell-offs, some swaps here of longer term options, and you'll see this kind of trickle over from futures, all that kind of good stuff. There's going to be a lot of swapping going on. So typically you'll have a period where there will be some exceptional buys in the market, and it doesn't particularly pertain to one market like crypto. You'll see even more, I'll say even greater buys in the stock market. Because you'll obviously, because these two are getting more and more intertwined, you're going to see them trend together, especially when there's mass liquidity being traded. So you're going to see that red here as well. So this is to be expected, which is what we talked about in the last video. But you're going to see some more blood here probably over the next couple of weeks here. So nothing to necessarily panic about. And you can also see what happened the last time we reached this level. We obviously didn't close here, but this was what, August 6th. We had a major sell-off here to around 49,000, and then that was quickly bought up, and we ended up closing around like 53, and then we picked up from 53 that next day and went all the way up to around 56, right? So if we're talking about from around 48,000 to 53 in one day, right? So that was quickly bought up in this zone. So I'm not saying that's going to happen as quickly as it did this last time, but just kind of keep in mind here that once you start pushing the asset down, for those of you who've been here for a while, you guys know that I use the spring analogy. The farther you push it down, the more pressure you build up, and then it ends up seeking equilibrium. So it'll do that relatively quickly. And this is a perfect example of that. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of downward pressure this month. So if you're in this zone here for Bitcoin, I think this is going to be a great opportunity here. And if you can get it anywhere near 50,000 and below, like these people here, they were in profit the same day, and they've been in profit ever since, right? So if you can get it down here, especially below this level, because we haven't seen anything below 50,000 prior to August 5th, August 6th, since February, right? So that is, as of right now, that would be a perfect zone here to acquire BTC. Let's take a look here at Doge. I'm gonna get some similar. So we see that dip here as well. This will be the equivalent of Bitcoin going down to around that 49,000 mark. This is back on August 5th. We had that drop. We went down to a little above 8 cents. And then we recovered back to 9.49 the same day. If we can get if we see a dip down to around 8 cents, that'll obviously be phenomenal. For Doge, this is the points that we're seeing now, this 894. We have not seen those. Obviously, obviously the 5th, we've seen it, but that's when we recovered very rapidly. And again, this is the same thing that applies to Bitcoin. This is when we're going to see that consistent downward pressure. So it may not be as an immediate spring up, but prior to the 5th, we have not seen these prices since February, since late February, February 27th, February 26th. That was the last time we've seen these prices here, and we're in September now, and we're getting these prices that in crypto across the board that we haven't seen since earlier this year. I want to start with Bitcoin, because a lot of times when I cover Doge, people have like the horse blinders on, and they say, oh, okay, well, Doge is declining, Doge is dead. This is a very specific catalyst here for Doge, and it shouldn't be behaving like this. So I start with Bitcoin so that people can see the correlation between Bitcoin and Doge, and that they're pretty much doing the same thing. They're both had that dip on the 5th. They both retraced to lower fib levels, and they're seeking equilibrium and liquidity from levels that they have not touched since February. They're both doing it. So if you're making the case that Doge is dead, you're going to have to say the same thing about some of these larger coins because they're trending on the exact same pattern. So overall for Doge, if you can get anything around like 8 cents and below, honestly, I think that is absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I'll get to my average. Mine is around 5 cents, but still, this is where I would like to see this coin for this month, so that for those of you that have some higher averages or wanted to wait, particularly till we were later in the cycle before you made any purchases, or just this up here back when it was like April, we're having these rallies and looking to retest higher, just wasn't a good time. This is a time frame or a window of opportunity that's provided by the market and a lot of the swaps that's going on for September. Typically, if you're wondering about a time frame, or for those of you that are not necessarily long term, but you want to get involved in the market, I will say that October is a recovery month, but most of those gains come back around November, right? That's when this is based off of history, just so you know, but most of those gains, if you're looking to say, okay, I'm going to buy in September, when can I expect to have a decent amount of profit? It's not next month. It's typically in November. So even if those of you that are short term and not necessarily waiting for a peak bull run, and you just want to do a quick swing or something like that, just consider the history here and say, okay, I'm prepared to buy at this excellent price. How long do I have to hold it? Just consider saying, okay, I need to at least be in here through November so that I can kind of reap the benefits here of my investments. And again, that's history. So we obviously have a lot of things here as far as for like rate cuts coming up, the election. This is certainly an election year, so you kind of have to factor in that as well. There's going to be there's the potential to be a lot of volatility here. And obviously, if they cut rates here and things start to kind of take off, then that's going to play a part here. And we may have a fantastic October. It may just break the historic trend, and next month can be absolutely historic, right? So we just kind of have to kind of position that and kind of weigh all the odds, because this is an election year, but that doesn't negate the fact that we're seeing some absolutely phenomenal prices here based off of everything we've seen this year and what has happened previously in these levels. The levels we're at now, like I talked about with Bitcoin, is similar to when you push that spring down and you get those buyers come in and it pushes it up very rapidly. This is what we've seen here. So we know that there are pools of liquidity where we are. We know that based off of history, investors are comfortable coming in here. We know that even the previous people that purchased, if this was some of their entries here, not only are they comfortable, but they may even have averages here. And again, you have, and for those of you that chart along with me, take a look at August 5th and back to, what is this, February 27th, right? And you'll see the strength that's in these levels here for this cycle, as far as where we're able to grab that liquidity and ascend higher relatively quickly. So again, may not happen as quick just because of the month, and we haven't even got to quadruple witching yet, but just kind of consider that for this, for those of you that are looking to make entries ultimately into the coin. So those are the ranges. To make a video here, just kind of give you an idea of some ranges I'm looking at for the coins, and I believe that we can go below 8 cents is certainly going to be great or around 8 cents. Below it will be fantastic, but around 8 cents, I believe it'll be a really great entry there. And again, we don't know where necessarily it'll pop. We were expecting the downtrend because of the month, but we don't know where the pop is. So if you're here and you believe that, even if you believe the top for Doge is 16 cents or something, right? Whether you get it at exactly 8 cents or 8.5 or something, that's going to be minuscule when it comes to your coin count. So I know some people are particular about that, but again, not a financial advisor, just giving you a suggestion here, because I've been in the community long enough to know that people are particular about like some of the decimals behind the main factor number here, and not focusing on the multiplier, which is your coin count. So consider that when you are looking at some of these entries. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section if you are considering making any entries here, positionings, first-time entries, strengthening your position, or just simply looking to add to your coin count. I just kind of want to get a feel for the market here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you in the next video.